as promised, we are delivering to you the recording of our Marketshare Takeover event with Jon Cheplak and Bill Pipes. Hey, it's Brandon with the Polsinello Team at Remax, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of the people that we had participate in the live webinar. We connected with so many great people in the lead up to the call, and we registered hundreds of realtors looking to grow their real estate business. Now, if you weren't able to make the live call, I hope that you will actually take some time and watch the recording and pick up everything that Jon and Bill laid down for us in the call. Contribution is something that is really important to us and our team, and that's not only with our clients, that is with the real estate community and our peers. And that being said, we are going to be putting out a lot more of this type of content with more events, different speakers from industry coaches, lawyers, inspectors, other realtors, and we hope that you'll tune in and that you'll take some value from all of it. So I hope you enjoyed the recording and have an awesome day.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. You know, something that's really important is us making a contribution, not just to the consumer, but also to you, our peers, and other agents in our marketplace. I'm Frank Polsinello, and today we're bringing you the gold with two of the greatest coaches in the industry today. Jon Cheplak and Bill Pipes are here to help us all in our real estate businesses, especially in these changing and challenging times that we're working in. There are two things that are supremely important in today's real estate market: skills and mindset. And with the right skills and right mindset, not only will you survive in this market, but you can thrive and grow your market share. And with that being said, we're going to kick things off with our first speaker, someone who's been our coach for a number of years and instrumental in the growth and trajectory of our team, Mr. Jon Cheplak.
Awesome. Now I'm nervous, man. I got all you all-stars around me, and then I'm not even nervous about the rest of y'all that are here in the audience. Anyways, it is, I say that, y'all, because it's a privilege. And what I want to do is come to you. Certainly I come from and this isn't, you don't need the big old background. I'm so wonderful, but I door knocked and cold called and expired and FISBO'd to feed my family. That's what a lead was like for me, and did the lead follow-up and had my CRM, a plastic 3x5 index card holder that I thumbed through, but it was still a CRM. And I was still doing lead follow-up. And, you know, one of the things that's really important for each and every one of you to know, and as we look at this two-part Zoom that we have, you know, I'll talk a little bit of strategy tactic, but really where I want to go to, because there are two things that matter, okay? It is skills, okay, and activity, but they all come together with mindset. And you know what's really funny that I'll hear, and it's kind of neat, I think, in a way. It used to bother me because we all got a little bit of ego. Well, Cheplak's just mindset. We come to you for mindset. No, I'm a real estate guy, which I am, right? But you know what? I think that in my maturation, moving from being a real estate agent, being a branch manager, and then running a large organization in the coaching space, you know, here's what's very, very interesting. I want y'all to hold on to this. And whether you're on a team or whether you're at a brokerage, regardless, is we all have leadership that's in place. You know, one of the things that I hear as a leader, Bill's a leader, Frank's a leader, Brandon's a leader, is, oh, more mindset. Oh, it's Cheplak, more mindset. And, you know, here's the thing that I want to do is, and when I say call you out, you know, we're in an environment here where I can't call you out, put you on the spot, and embarrass you. When I say call you out, what I'm wanting you to do is just sit back and go through some reflection. You know, where are you at when you hear something else as far as mindset? Oh, I don't need that. Well, you know, go into your schedule and go into your activities the last 7 days and tell me how consistent you were. When you want to resist mindset, I want you to go back into your schedule and look at your activities. And then I want you to discern which activities did you do or not do, because most likely human beings move towards the most comfortable activities. Here's one of the things that I know in knowing Brandon and Frank and Bill is, and including myself, the fortunate outcomes in our business and our life is when we look back, by no means perfect. I learned from Bill. Bill learns from me. We all learn together. I'm supposed to be a coach guru. You know, I'm a coach guru because I'm a freaking student all the time. I'm a student of my clients. I'm a student of a peer of mine, Bill Pipes. I mean, I'm constantly a student. And here's what I know, you guys, like right now, the differentiator, and can I tell you 30% of the agents will be able to be at business, 50%? I don't know what the number is going to be, but I can promise you this. There will be, excuse the expression, roadkill. There will absolutely be roadkill. And while skills are critical, and that's the reason we are, you know, you look at the law of primacy and recency. And here's the nice thing. There's really nothing in the middle as far as this presentation is concerned. I'm coming in the law of primacy. We remember what we first hear and we remember what we last hear. Well, there's no middle. You're going to hear a lot about mindset. Sure, we're going to look a little bit at your business strategically and tactically a little bit, but without that, what Bill is going to share with you, most likely he'll get into some tactical things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you can, and that's why, you know, Bill, when you look at his success as a leader, he didn't just go information, training. Training will not just make you productive. You've got to marry the two together. So the next time when you hear someone's going to bring, oh, it was just mindset. Oh, that was a boring meeting. It was mindset. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the mirror that is sitting at waist level, and I want you to pull it up to eye level. And I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to ask yourself, I can't stand mindset, but how's my discipline? How's my commitment? How's my consistency? How are those things? Then maybe you'll see mindset a little bit different. Now, mindset is pretty broad. What I want to do to help you out with mindset is, okay, great. How do I do it? I wake up and I breathe really, really deep 10 times in the morning, or I do some wild exercise. Listen, every one of the exercises that you do that you believe enhance you, they work. Bill and I had a conversation today about morning routine, night routine, which one's right, which one's wrong. But listen, you can play it either way, but discover which one you feel you're going to operate best in. With that said, though, to get into, because mindset is going to be your make or break. You've got 2 seasons going on right now. 2, a changing market season. It's changed. We know that. And a holiday season. Well, and watch this, Bill and I can do the, doesn't matter, people still buy and sell during the holidays. Listen, here's what we know. There's still holidays. There's a holiday weekend coming up. People are still buy or sell, right? But it's still a holiday. Now, where a coach like Bill or myself are going to come to you and say, guess what? The opportunity is prime. Listen, January was my very, very best month. Why are you talking about January? I'll talk to you about that in a moment. January was my very, very best month. You want to know why? Because in December, I know my competition had the perfect business plan and they were going to start in January. It's really weird how real estate agents get amnesia and forget that we're in a 60, 90 day, 120 day sales cycle. They think that, well, Bill, I've got the best plan in January 1. I'm going to start it. Awesome. Have fun being broke January, February, and March, and let me know how things are going in April if you're still in the business. These are the critical pieces you need to be thinking about. So here's the first thing that I want you guys to think about and leave with, after, especially after you hear from Bill. You've got 90 days left, maybe less, maybe a tad more, depending on your marketplace. I don't know how many of you are in marketplaces where today a transaction is going to close in, you write it today, it's going to close in 30 days. Maybe things, you know, with it slowing down, maybe appraisals are coming in sooner. Maybe mortgage is moving a little bit quicker because you don't have all that refi that's bogging down the underwriters and that whole process. I don't know, but really, let's just keep it real. You've got 90 days to have an impact on your income for this year. Here's what's really, really cool. And that's what I'm going to go to. I'm going to share a couple slides with you that'll be helpful, is this. What you've got to start thinking about are these next 90 days, like you're in it right now. Because if you will sprint for these next 90 days, which will take you to December 1, you're going to probably about first to mid of October, and even stuff longer, because listen, there's stuff that sits in a database for 13 months and doesn't convert till, 13 months or 24 months. But here's the beauty. It doesn't matter where you're sitting today. It doesn't matter. It matters what you do the minute you get off this Zoom, period. Because what's going to take place is on December 1, okay? The activities that you're doing, those activities on November 1 that you're doing, it's going to dictate your January, February. Listen, I'm not the type, Bill's not, Frank's not Brandon's night. I'm the guy that when people go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. January, I'm dying. February, I'm dying. I'm not going to say I told you so. I don't have to, because I've told you enough over and over and over again. Here's why I believe right now is the most critical time on the planet. Any of my 34 years in real estate, 34 years. I'm not smart. I've just hung around long enough and I've seen, because you are in 2 seasons, you are finishing how your 2022 will end is based on this day today, and how your 2023 is going to go is based on the choice you make today. If you think that you can make a choice on December 1st about your 2023, you're wrong. You're wrong. What you're going to do, if you decide to make a decision about your 2023 on December 1st, what you're saying is, I'm going to have a 9-month year. Stay with me. Think about this, you guys. I'm going to have a 9-month year in 2023 because I just wrote off my very, very first quarter. So when you look at, layering this stuff, as you get the tactics and the strategies and what's working, what's not working right now, and the things you need to do, you need to do underneath on those days that you make the choice of, you know what, I'm going to skip a day. Like, listen, here's the gig. If you're sitting here right now and you want, in most markets throughout North America, okay, if you want to do as much as you did last year, the last 12 months, you have to do twice as much of the work or get twice as smart and efficient. Okay. What you can do is if you combine those two, maybe you don't have to do twice as much. And here's my belief in this. My belief is, like, right now, it's not a double down, triple down, it's a quadruple down. But here's what I want you to know. Those activities because I got news for y'all, and I hope it's none of you. I'm going to believe it's none of you. And I'm going to tell you why I believe it's none of you, because you took your valuable time to sit here on this Zoom. I mean, there's a lot of better things you could probably be doing. At least you think that. I'd like to believe that this is where you're going to be. Here's what I want you to do. It's the same with people. A lot of people are going to pull away from their marketing. The person that keeps marketing, their marketing is going to be 4 times as effective as it was 6 months ago, because that marketing isn't competing with people that, people like, oh my gosh, I've got a budget. And you need to budget and you need to be responsible. But here's the thing, the impact of your activities over the next 90 days, the impact of your marketing over the next 90 days, the impact of your emails, your videos that you do over the next 90 days. And this is the mindset you need to get into. You know what? You're going to have to do more. You know what? You're going to have to sacrifice more. Well, you should, because you want to know what you've been? You've been a freaking order taker the last 3 years. You haven't been doing real estate. I'm sorry. But Jon, I worked 70, 80 hours. Yeah, so you can take all the freaking orders, man. So you could take all of the orders. Like, what type of skill set? Like most agents, 70% of the agents, price reduction, what's that? Service a listing. Service a listing? Oh, does that mean like how well I handle 5,000 offers? Or how high I should bid the price up? Is that what servicing a listing means? Okay. Like listing presentation. Okay. Like what are the skills required in a listing presentation? How do I handle expectations up front so that at 90 days, 120 days, when I'm still servicing that listing possibly, because maybe that seller, right, wasn't taking the counsel that I had been giving them, right? How do I get an extension on a listing? Extension? What's an extension on a listing agreement? What's even an expired listing? What's a for sale by owner? See, these are the things where you guys, A, I want to create a consciousness for you of what you need to be aware of. And B, what Bill equally does is certainly that consciousness is what are the skill sets, because he's been through multiple marketplaces. Guess what? He's watched the people sit on the sidelines, okay, and no longer be part of the headlines. And that's the truth. And that comes with your mindset and your activities right now. Write this one down. If you want to grow your business, you know, a great example I use for people, especially right now, if you want to 10x your business, and you can, you know, go Google this term. You've heard it before. It's not cliche, it's the truth. The greatest growth, some of the greatest businesses have been birthed in challenging, changing markets. The greatest. Now, here's what's pretty funny though. It's almost embarrassing to call this a challenging, changing market. Changing, yes. Challenging. Y'all should have had enough business growth in the last year to compensate for 3 normal years of growth. So actually what you have is a normal market, but see, it's the human condition. You've been conditioned to how it is. Okay. So really what I want you to know that's really important, you've got to 20x your identity. How do you 20x your identity? I'm going to give you something to think about. And I'm not saying go out and do things that are immoral, that lack class, and stand out by being just a ding dong. How do you get famous? Well, what's famous have to do with real estate? Well, because I want to be the authority figure in the marketplace. I want to be the celebrity figure. I want to be the celebrity around counsel. I want to be the celebrity around information, the celebrity around competency, the celebrity around the news. I want to be the resource. So let's go take a look at people that are famous. You want to know what made them famous? It's not what they did. They were seen more than other people. Think about that. There's a lot of people that do a lot of really cool things. They didn't get seen. They didn't get noticed. It's really, really simple, you guys. In marketing, I want to be that go-to resource. I want to be that celebrity authority in the marketplace for competency, relevancy, and now information. See, one of the things to look at, you need to be a great salesperson, but part of being a great salesperson is remembering this. Everyone wants to buy, no one wants to be sold. How do you marry those two together? How do you marry great skill sets, sales skills that are required, like the skills that are required today? And here's what's really, really good for you. I don't need to play the fear tactic with you. You're here because you're thirsty and you have an appetite and you have a hunger. And I'm going to guess you have an awareness that, you know something, there's some things I'm doing right now that really, really aren't working. Or the things that I used to do aren't really, really working. And for those that decide to, and watch this, be a humble implementer, I want you to write that down. That's 2 things. You need to 20x your identity if you want to grow your business during this time frame. Okay. Number 2, you must be a humble implementer. Number 3, let me define that. I want you to question everything Bill tells you to do by testing it for 90 days. Question everything he says to you. It doesn't work. I'm going to prove it doesn't work for the next 90 freaking days. And I'm going to do exactly what is prescribed, what to say, when to say it, how often to say it, the activities that I need to do. And guess what? Here's what's going to happen. You're not going to prove him wrong. You're not going to prove him wrong. What you're going to do is you will 100% outdistance yourself from the competition. So simple pieces, humble implementer. Okay. Number 2, you've got to 20x your identity. You've got to 20x your identity. Number 3, question everything you're hearing right now by testing it. Question it by testing it. You know, if you're someone that's getting leads every single day, you tell me the leads suck, great. Open up your CRM for all of us and show us how many times you've reached out to those people. Tell each and every one of us that you are at 100% following the proven sales process that you've been taught. If you're an independent agent that's working for a brokerage, and whether it's the training that you've received there or you're being coached by someone else, okay, tell me that you're following everything by the process. See, here's what's really, really interesting is the gap that needs to be bridged is your activity along with continuing to build your skills. See, many of you right here, right now, probably have heard Bill speak before. And you know what? You're going to hear Bill some things that you said before. And you know what I'm going to say to you? You probably don't have it internalized enough where you could do this Zoom back to us because you haven't mastered it. You haven't mastered it. See, pro athletes, see, everyone wants to get paid like a pro athlete. Everyone. How many people behave like one? Well, last time I checked, 0.001% of the people on the planet. Oh, well, that's an extreme comparison. Is it really? Let me tell you how extreme it is. They go back to basic training every single year. Miserable. They leave their multi-million-dollar homes and their Ferraris and this beautiful life and the town they walk around at home, and they go into college dorms in a lot of cases. Okay. And they eat in big cafeterias, but you wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't go back and redo and re-onboard, and you wouldn't go back and do, well, I don't need the buyer course anymore, Frank and Brandon. I did it once. I don't need the listing course. Oh, I don't need to hear from Bill. I've been to Bill's courses. You want to know what the champions are doing? We just did something in July. Okay. And guess what? I'm going to guarantee you 70% of the 500 people will be in the room again in October for the same training. Will there be some subtleties and changes? 100%, because the market has had some shifts since then. But that's the point I want to get to you guys. See, here's what you've got to embrace. You've got to embrace the boring. If you want a sexy life, you have to do things that are not sexy. So here's what I'm going to leave you guys with, and I'll send this to Frank and Brandon post Zoom. Can everyone see? Give me a thumbs up if y'all can see that. Awesome. Here is your, I guess we don't need presentation subtitle. Can you guys still see it or no? Did it go off? It's good? Awesome. I don't need a subtitle. I just need a 90-day freedom multiplier. See, here's the thing, y'all. And by the way, let me dispel the myth. You're here to make more money. Baloney. You're here to create a better life. This Zoom, this content, this information that we're contributing to you is your vehicle to live a better life. And what you've got to do is you've got to keep those two connected. The challenge that you have, the disconnection you have, is you have the work that you need to do, the logic you need to do standing alone in its silo, and you don't bridge it to. See, if you thought every single day that you were going to cold call, door knock, FSBO, expired, do lead follow-up, do videos that you're afraid of. If you, every time before you were going to do that and you were pausing and thinking once or twice, you thought about that one thing that is going to emotionally charge you and change your life. Bill, private lessons. Bill's got his private freaking coaching for his daughter who's in volleyball. You know, Bill has to do things. I have to do things that are freaking uncomfortable. Okay, we love our work, but I'm sorry. Oh, I love it every day and it's a circus. No, man, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of demands. But guess what? He is obsessed with his daughter having a private coach for volleyball. He's obsessed with his son having private coaching for football. And they're in high school. So every day when he looks at that massive expectation that he has on him to show up, to perform, you don't think he's thinking about that? Of course he is. And that's why someone like him has the long. Bill's no different than any of us. But I can say this for Frank, I can say it for Brandon, I can say it for me and Bill. What we have connected is that thing, right? This is just a vehicle, okay? Here's what I want you guys to do. Freedom multiply the last 90 days of 22. Where am I at now versus where I want to be? And I'll go through this quickly because in the interest of time, I chat a little bit. Where am I at right now versus where I want to be? See, this isn't rocket science. And you know the irony of it? Humbly, but it's the truth. I work with the best in the world. And so I wish I had some unicorn that would be flying through here or horseshoe to be flying from left field that was just freaking magical. But I got bad news for you. Shortcutters and magic pill searchers and smoke blowers and lobby dwellers that talk big and don't do anything. It doesn't work that way. It's the freaking basics. Number one, how many calls am I launching a day? See, I'm going to share something with you and you can leave. I don't want you to, because Bill's really going to bring the goodness. Okay. If you made 100 calls a day, you knocked 100 doors a day, and the interest rates were 500%, you'd still win because no one else will do it. And you could say, hi, do you want to sell your house? Because no one else will freaking do it 100 times a day. I'm being a little extreme, but I want you to get the point. Imagine if you do the activities and you have the mindset that I'm sharing with you with the skills that Bill lay out. How many texts am I sending? How many videos am I sending a day? See, and here's the deal. Math is the path, man. What blows my mind? What blows my mind is where's your income at year to date and how many listings have you sold and how many buyers have you closed? 13 or 17. Which freaking one? I mean, you guys, we're vague. We are vague. And if you've heard people use these terms clarity, but what? Get clarity, get your vision. Okay, good. But what's underneath that? The flip side of clarity is vagueness. And guess what you're going to get? You're going to get vague results. How many emails am I sending a day? I can tell you right now. I know how many emails I send. I know what the open rates are. I know what the subject lines people respond to. Like, this isn't rocket science. I know the social media posts that I put out and what headline I use, what's going to get engagement and what's not. I know the things that are going to have the biggest impact on people and what's not. Well, because the reason you market to people and put things out there is to test the market. Number one, the real reason you do it is to give people value. I want to give people value, but I want to based on the interaction. See, marketing is really just a test and getting feedback. But see, most of us have the mindset you're too afraid to because maybe you'll only get one like or you'll get no open rates or people will call you a spammer or this or that. Let me tell you who the spammer is. The spammer isn't the person that's frequent. The spammer is the person that puts crap info out there repeatedly and doesn't take the time to recognize what I say, what I write, what works and what doesn't work. It's that simple. And that's just a mindset piece of just taking the action and not being so judgmental on yourself. Okay. The old is the gold. How many appointments am I saying? Let me tell you about the old is the gold. The old is the gold is twofold. If you're in an environment where there's leads, let me tell you something. The 6 months to 12-month leads, they're the hottest leads on the planet. 100%. Period. It's being proven over and over and over and over again. Couple things happen. If you go back into your old leads and you start making phone calls, you're going to be pissed off because probably 40 minutes into it, you'll count $100,000 in commissions you lost because a bunch of them bought something. But remember, they were a bad lead, weren't they? And then you're going to call your past clients and check in on them. And you're going to say, how are things, Sally? And says, oh my God, they're great. Why don't you come over to our housewarming party? You'll love it. You'll be so happy for us because you don't understand the freaking old is the gold. You forget it. See, here's the most embarrassing thing to think about in your business. If a year from today, 2 years from today, 3 years from today, you have to work as hard to make the same amount of money, you're a horrible real estate agent. Because you know what you've done? You've turned and you've burned and you haven't followed up. You should be able to, in a matter of time. And again, this is if you're someone, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, run your race, but you should be able to, if you handle your business right in 2.5 to 3 years, you could maintain your business alone flat as long as you followed up on the freaking people and checked in with the people that did business with you before. I mean, you guys, come on. It's that ridiculous, right? But I don't want to call them. I don't want to call them. Okay. Is my night before routine. This is funny, Bill, on our conversation. I made this PowerPoint 2 months ago. So, this is good stuff. Is my night before routine locked in? Y'all are talking about the morning routine. That's important. That's not your problem. It's what are you doing the night before? Try that one out. I'll guarantee you. Well, I couldn't wake up for the alarm. No, you couldn't get your ass in bed. I mean, come on, you guys. Okay. Am I taking tiny, consistent steps to better wellness? My conversations with Bill as we work together, sure, they're business wise, but I'm going to tell you something. In those concentrated times we talk, it's tilted on a personal side more than it is on a business side, because we know that that's the make or break in all of it. And that's what you'll find with high performers, period. Am I taking the time for my friends and family? Am I taking the time for me? Wait, Jon, you're telling me to double down. Well, turn off your freaking TV then. Stop hanging around losers. Look at all the times, the things you're saying yes to that cause you to say no to what really, really works. And let me tell you something. You don't have a time management issue. You have a freaking choice management issue. Make better choices, okay? And here's the thing you get to decide. What am I committed to? And choose to no longer negotiate with your commitments. Stop negotiating with yourself. And here's the piece, leadership. What I want you to carry away from this. No one here can make any of you productive. Sorry to break the bad news to you. Maybe you thought we were going to, or not. You get to choose, because there's two types of leadership. See, Brandon, Frank, Bill, and I can only come this far. You got to come this far. Stop blaming your leader. Look in the freaking mirror. Look in the mirror. Your leader is your freaking partner, period. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. Go back to your leader. The first thing I want you to reflect, how can my current leader support me better? Responsibly. What kind of leadership do I respond best to? Let your leader know. Am I taking advantage of all the training and leadership resource available to me? Do I constantly revisit what I've been taught so that I can gain mastery? What are the areas of my business I can build better skills? Do I move towards accountability, or do I wait for it? What is the one thing I'm not doing and maybe avoiding that if I did commit to it and ask for accountability around it, my business and life would change? What things are in my control and what things are not in my control? If I was coaching me and I looked inside my CRM, what would my observations be? Am I willing to own all of my outcomes? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the opportunity to spend some time with you. I'm going to stop my share here. I'm going to turn it back over to Brandon. Let's see here. Okay. I hit a button, the screen goes. I'm like, did I turn it off? And here's what I'd like to do before I turn it over to Brandon and give it to Bill. I've had the privilege of working with Bill since just March. And it feels like it's been a lifetime. Oh, it's so hard. No, it's amazing. It's pretty.
Sorry for putting that pressure on you.
And it's pretty, I just want to share this with you all because hopefully you can grab onto it. Having the ability at this far in my career, and I talk about some things I share with you at this 34 years into my business, and being willing to have the humility to bring someone on that has greater skills than me. What's that have to do with you? Because you need to have the humility to go to people and let people know that I don't know these certain things and you can make me better. And that's the most important thing. The biggest, most egotistical thing you can do is not go ask for help and not acknowledge that you have your blind spots and not acknowledge that you lack skill sets. That's your ego. You've been fooled in what ego is, the person that, oh, I'm amazing. That's minimal. That's a jackass. Okay. Ego is the person that can't have that humility to say, wow, I can gain from you and I can get better from you. And I'm not worried that you do more than me. Like, I hope you do more or better than me. And that's how you're going to win. Bill brings tremendous skill set. He brings tremendous heart. And I can tell you this, stacking, there's no better sales trainer on the planet. So I'm excited to turn it over to Bill, but I'll turn it over to Brandon and Frank, and they can bring him on in, and I'll make Bill the host and peace out on y'all. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Jon.
Thank you, Jon. That was
Thanks,
awesome.
Jon. Yeah, some amazing takeaways there. Never hear anywhere else. I've been taking the notes the whole time. This is my book of Jon, by the way.
The book of Jon.
Pipes, you're the host, right?
I'm good.
I'll pay you later for the compliments, Frank. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.
Thanks, Jon. Our next speaker is irrefutably the #1 sales trainer in North America. He's worked through all sorts of real estate markets. He's logged over 100,000 coaching sessions, over 50,000 hours of real estate consulting, and has been associated with some of the largest real estate training organizations in the world. It's our extreme pleasure to introduce our coach, Mr. Bill Pipes.
Awesome, Frank. Thank you so much, man. What a 1-2 combo punch.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Brandon, for having me on. Like I said, hey guys, super pumped. I got you for 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes here. And I'm going to go fast. I'm going to go furious. And I absolutely want to echo the sentiment that Jon was talking about, where, like it is a combination, it is multifaceted in terms of what we need to be doing in today's market. I'm going to share the screen with you guys in 1 second here. Hold on 1 second. And we should be good to rock and roll. Let's go to presentation mode. All righty, baby. All right. So, hey, in the chat, if you guys would, I can't not do the call without getting you guys a little bit live, excited, and full of energy. If you would, in the chat, just give me a what's up and hey, Pipes, I'm alive, I'm excited, I'm full of energy, I'm ready for a great 30 minutes. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're engaged, and let me know that you're ready to rock and roll. So if you would, what's up? There we go, Frank, obviously. So guys, some of the things I want to jump in with you guys on is, first and foremost, what we're looking at is this market, right? And I've been preaching this for the last September, Frank, Brandon, the rest of you guys. I started noticing some subtle changes that were taking place in the market. And we started noticing like some hiccups, some challenges, et cetera. And I started thinking, man, okay, it's coming. Because for the last 10, 15 years, we've had nothing else except for, and I coached some great agents in the GTA area, man, and it was just 1 year after the next, after the next, after the next of good and better and extraordinary. And like, how long can this go on? And here's what I want you guys to get, and many of you guys know this, and I've been echoing this, is that this market isn't shifting, it is shifted. And there's a lot of agents right now that are sitting there like waiting for what's going to happen next. And the reality is we're in it right now. And anyone know how long we're going to be in it for? Probably another 3 years, right? Like what this shift is going to take place, according to all the economists and all the people that I actually work with, the data that I get, we're in this for 3 to 4 years, right? And I'm excited about that. I got to tell you guys something, because really what I look at is there is more opportunity in a normal or shifting or shifted market than in the market that we were in. How many of you guys believe that there is more opportunity? Because to be really honest, if we look at this last market, no offense, there were some dumbasses making a lot of money. There were some individuals inside real estate that, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I looked at some and I went, really? That person? They're doing how much? They sold how many? And now that this market has shifted, I got a lot of my great agents that I coach in the top in the world that are like this. Yes, I've been waiting for this, because in this market that we're in right now, my friends, there's opportunity. And the good is differentiated from the normal. The great is differentiated from, the mediocre. And you didn't have that 6, 12, 18 months ago. Does that make sense? Right? What you had is everyone was a rock star. Everyone was doing great. But really what we were doing was answer the phone, drive, open the door, write up an offer, handle the expectations and the upset that the buyer had because they didn't get their offer accepted. Rinse and repeat that 6 or 7 times, and you were selling a house. Well, now this market requires skill. Now this market requires discipline. Now this market requires strategy. And here's what I want you guys to look at. See, in adverse times, there's more opportunity than in normal times or in great times. Last recession, 2008, down here in the States. Now I'm going to be using some US driven data, but it translates over into Canada as well too. In the United States last year, last recession, 2008, the biggie, there was a 17% increase in the number of millionaires. Think about that. As companies were shutting down, as people were going sideways, losing their houses, there was a 17% increase in the number of millionaires. And more importantly, the existing base of millionaires increased their net worth by 19%. You know what that is, guys? That's opportunity, right? That's people making moves. That's individuals, men and women, making adjustments. And I did some research, and here's why. Right? When we look at what really drove them, right? And why they were able to do that, they educated themselves, right? You being on this call here today, on this session, you're doing just that, right? The motivation, the inspiration, the insight that Chet just gave us, right? The education that he gave us on what we need to do. And I'm going to share with you as well too, is what will be able to actually move you forward. Right? They made adjustments to their model. They doubled, meaning they didn't continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And what I see, Frank, what I see, Brandon, with a lot of agents is someone moved their cheese in the tunnel, right? Great book called Who Moved My Cheese? Someone moved their cheese in the tunnel, and they're like the rat going down the same old pathway going, where's my cheese? Where's my cheese? Where's my cheese? But, like I know Golfy, I know Rob is on this session. Rob, he and his team, right, at Sales Mastery in Las Vegas, they were there for a reason. Here's one of the top, like teams in the world that's like, we want to learn everything that we possibly can, right, in order to be able to actually make the necessary changes. They doubled down, number 3, on the fundamentals of the business, my friends. See, those fundamentals, although important the last 12, 24, 36 months, they weren't as important because the market was doing all the heavy lifting for us. It was making it simple for people to be motivated. You didn't have to be that great of a salesperson. But this market requires great sales discipline and strategy. But the main thing is this: they acted quickly and they acted decisively. That's how 17% more millionaires came to the market. That's how 19% increase was, because they did these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And as agents, as owners of teams, as individuals that are still in the game of real estate, here's what I would tell you, right? There's going to be certain people, and this is according to down here in the United States, NAR, our National Association of Realtors, has established that there's going to be 30% of the agent population, Frank. Guess what's going to happen to them, Brandon? Gone. Out of the market. Right? Wouldn't it be great? Like, wouldn't it be great if we could choose who they would be? Like 1, 2, 3, you're gone. 1, 2, 3, you're gone. Right? And so we got 2 different worlds. We got this world of opportunity, and we got this world where people are not educating themselves. They're not making the adjustments. They're not doubling down on the fundamentals. They're not acting quickly, and they will be eliminated. This is not a market of choice in my mind. This is a market of action, period. Right? So should you be scared? Here's what I would tell you. Only if you don't have a couple of things. And we're going to dig into this today. Like the time that I have for you, we're going to dig into the skills. The only people in my mind, Frank, Brandon, and the rest of you guys that should be worried is the individuals that don't have the skills, they haven't developed the disciplines, and they don't have a clear strategy of what it is that they need to do. And in my opinion, watch this. Yes, I believe there's going to be about 30%, 25 to 30% of the market of agents are going to be gone. I think there's going to be 60% of the agent population that is just going to get by. They're going to survive it, right? They're going to like not make the adjustments at the level that they need to, but they're going to do okay. They're going to be able to pay their bills. Maybe they're going to go into debt a little bit, but they'll still be in the business. But there's going to be 10% that's going to come out of nowhere, man. They're going to gain market share, right? I saw this happen in 2009, 2010. There were agents, guys, that went from zero to hero, right? That you went, where did he come from? Where did she come from, right? Where were they all this time? Because they took the actions that were necessary. They had the skills, they had the disciplines, and they executed on the right strategy. And by the way, with the people that I coach, right, these top agents, top teams around North America, right? This is what I'm digging in. I'm digging in with every single one of them on what are the skills that you need to have and your team needs to have. What are the disciplines, rituals, and routines that you need to embrace? And what is the strategy? What are the key strategies? Strategy meaning something that's proven that you do over and over again that you need to execute on. So today, because I got you guys for 30 minutes, we're just going to go, what's the number one skill? What's the number one discipline? What is the number one strategy necessary for you guys to be able to be in that 10%? Okay. So check this out, guys. I have been saying this my entire career. My background and my history, for those of you that I don't know, is I had the privilege when I was in my early 20s to be taking under the wing of Mr. Mike Ferry. Mike Ferry basically said, Pipes, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about selling real estate. I took what it is that he taught me, launched a mortgage company or partnered in a mortgage company. We grew it from 67 people up to 3,000, funding billions of dollars worth of loans. Moved it over into a team for real estate back in 2010, 2011. We grew that team from Salt Lake City, where I live now in Utah, down to St. George, to Silicon Valley, to East Bay, San Francisco. And we did this whole expansion when no one was doing it. We were one of the first ones. And I share this with you, not to impress you. I share this with you to let you know I've made all the mistakes. But from those mistakes and from the mentors that I've had, I've learned this one thing, that the best businesses are prospecting based and marketing enhanced. And when we talk about the number one discipline that we've got to embrace, it's this right here. The discipline that you need to master is the discipline of actually going out, hunting every single day and grabbing the business. You know, it's interesting, Brandon, in 12 months, 18 months, 24, 36 months ago, even prior to pandemic, this may sound weird coming from me, from someone that is like a committed, like the bastion of prospecting. You didn't need to prospect. Think about that, guys. I know it sounds odd, but 12, 24, 36 months ago, there wasn't a need to prospect. Why? Well, there wasn't a need to prospect because you had a line of people that were actually lining up, that were calling you, your friends, your family members, that had FOMO, and they were like, holy shit, man, I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. My neighbors just bought a house. They told me that that house went up 60, 70, 80, 100, $200,000. Hey, Pipes, man, can you help me? But that changed. And what happened was we got away from one of the fundamentals, which is the fundamental discipline that everyone needs to engage in right now, which is prospecting. Everyone, wherever you are, just put a big smile on your face. And I want you to say, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. You ready? 1, 2, 3. I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. But some of you were just lied right there, okay? But look, there's a lot of people that don't like to prospect. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Welcome to the 30%. Welcome to the 30%. Because the market is going to discipline those individuals that choose not to discipline themselves, my friends. I want you to listen to that really carefully, that the market will discipline those individuals that choose not to discipline themselves. So this number one discipline, this is what I've launched. This is what my top teams are doing. This is what they're pushing their teams to be able to do, whether it's, Katrina and Neil, Goran, Brandon and Frank, right? Like go across the board here. We have implemented what's called a 3x5 daily plan of discipline. This right here, if there was one thing for you to master in terms of your business between now and the end of the year, it's this. It is that every single day, you're going to need to block out about an hour and a half. This is how long this will take you, 1.5 hours. And you need to take the time to contact 5 people that you know every single day. I'm going to share with you the dialogue to have with them. You need to contact 5 people that you don't know. Now, obviously, you guys don't have Zillow, but there's online leads. There's just listed, expireds. You can't really hit them. However, for sell by owners are coming back. Right? You've got open houses. You've got to take the time to grow your business by talking to those individuals that you haven't worked with before. And then the key of the third 3x5 plan is you got to follow up and speak to 5 leads a day that you've previously spoken with. Okay. Now watch. This is going to take some time to implement. When Jon was talking about the importance of executing right now, if you begin this and write this down, it takes 67 days to create a new habit, to create a new discipline. So if you start right now, this stuff is not going to get easy for you until like November. But if you start right now, then you'll go into, and this is what I'm telling every single person that I coach, is you have to start being the agent that could earn the goal that you have for 2023 today. I'll say that again. You have to start being the type of agent in your actions, your attitude, your approach, your skills today to earn the income that you want for 2023. Frank, I'm already having conversation, and this is something for all of you guys. I'm already talking to my coaching clients. What's your goal for 2023? Right? And you may go, well, Pipes, we still got 2-3 months left of this year. No, you got like a month. You got a month and a half. Because if that's not under contract by mid-November, chances are you're going to have difficulty closing it by the beginning of the year. Okay. Right. In which case it rolls over to next year. And with the, right now, with the execution that's taking place right now, I want everyone to have the number of recruits. I want everyone to have the skill. I want everyone to make the moves right now so that when we come into November, they're already that agent. They're already aligned with the actions. And this is one of the key ones. Number 2, skill. We are currently in, my friends, what I call a skill-based market. And I would write that down. We are currently in a skill-based market. Well, what is that? Well, a skill-based market, look, 12, 16, 18, 24 months ago, real estate was like this: show up, don't say anything relatively too stupid, and you would sell houses, right? Okay. What would you like to price your home at? Right? That was the pricing portion of the listing presentation. Oh, we want to price it for $1 million. Great. What was the last sell? 900,000. Perfect. You put it on the market at $1 million and it sells 10% above ask price. It wasn't a skill-based market. That was reality, right? Especially in the GTA, my friends, right? I mean, it was insane to see what was taking place. But now there is a number one primary skill. And you may say, well, Pipes, what is the skill? Is it handling objections? Is it the ability to be able to actually price property effectively? Is it creating urgency in buyers? No, the number one skill is this, is to control the narrative. The number one skill that you need to develop right now that will work with you for buyers, for sellers, for past clients, for sell by owners is, can you control the narrative for the people that you're talking to? And what is the narrative? The narrative is the story that exists about the real estate market right now. Okay. And I'm just curious, in the chat, you guys tell me, what is the narrative that's going on right now in the GTA, in Canada, in the States? Like, what's the narrative about what's happening in the real estate market? You guys in the chat, just give me a what's up on what you see taking place, what you're hearing. By the way, I will go every single day. I do this for like 10 minutes, right? Where I'll go and I'll look at Fox, I'll look at MSNBC, I'll look at CNN, just to hear what is being said, right? But the narrative is this, that the market is on its ear. It's gonna it's going down. I saw something just the other day that is for the Calgary market, right? And that the Calgary market, the actual news line was Calgary market going to have the worst decline ever in the history of the Calgary market, 25 to 30%. But then I talked to my buddy Justin Haber and I go, Justin, what's really going on? And he gives me the inside track of the reality of the market to control the narrative. Does that make sense, guys? See, we have a responsibility in my mind to educate our clients, the skill of educating our clients on what's really going on. Now, here's what you need to look at. There are 4 cornerstones to this skill. Number one, your knowledge of the national real estate market and the data that is involved in it. Let me say that again, the data. And if you're taking notes, which I hope you are, write down, it's data over drama. Data battles drama. Brandon, if I can give a client, a friend, a family member, a lead data, here's my belief. My belief is that an educated and motivated consumer will always make more intelligent choices. An educated and motivated consumer will always make more intelligent choices. But the challenge we have, guys, is that their education programming that they're getting is a bunch of BS from the media. Media's shock and awe and scare tactics. Number 2 is the knowledge of your local MLS data and the trends that are going on, to be able to go back and say, yes, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer or seller, here's where we are. 6 months ago, here's where we were. 12 months ago, here's where we are. Yes, inventory is up 25, 30%. Yes, sales are down, etc. Right? To be able to give them the information to make intelligent choices. Number 3 is this, your belief that it is still a great time to buy a home. Is it a good time to buy a home, guys, in the chat? Yes or no? Is it still a great time to buy a home? What do you guys think? I'm going to go 30 seconds on this, and I want you to keep up with me. All right? Because if you are not, and this is what I would tell you, by the way, this is a picture of me and my family. Okay. So me, my 2 kids, my ex-wife, this is a fishing trip that we went on. I won this at a raffle or an auction. And we went to this fly fishing place. I love to fly fish. And we went there, and one day we caught 114 fish. 114 fish in 2.5 to 3 hours. It was a hatchery. All we had to do was drop the line in the water, right? I turned to my son, we got done. And honestly, it was, Brandon, it was a point where he goes, I don't want to catch another fish, right? My arm is tired. I'm like, you should enjoy this. But I took him aside. I said, hey, Liam, I want you to understand something. What we just experienced is not reality. That's not real, right? Normal fishing is maybe you catch 2 or 3 fish a day. And what I would tell you is what we experienced the last 2, 3, 4 years in real estate was not real. Does that make sense, guys? That was not real. And really what we've just gotten back to is normal. We had a 32% appreciation in 2020, a 18% appreciation in 2021, a 7% appreciation is what we're projected to for 2022. Okay. And 2023, 2024, 2025, I'm going to show you that the projection is 3%. 3% is a normal market, guys. And that's what I want you to get, is that this is just normal. And what you have to, look at me, everyone, what you have to be able to do is educate your clients that this is just a normal market, but we have not had normal in so long that we got used to extraordinary being normal. Okay. Now, let's go back to this whole thing about being able to buy a home and why it's such a great time to buy a home. There is a proven concept that for every 1% increase in interest rates, it's a 10% decrease in affordability. I'll say that again. Every 1% increase in interest rates, it's a 10% decrease in the affordability that somebody has. So if I'm looking at a house at 500,000 at 3% interest rate, and interest rates go up to 4, right? That $500,000 house, I need now to drop down to 450 to maintain my monthly payments and my down payment and everything else. Does that make sense? This is really important. I want you guys to recognize this, because this right here is a conversation that you can have with a buyer or a seller. Rates have gone up. They're in the, depending upon, what we look at and what type of loan product it is, it's in the 5s, 5.5. Is that where we are right now, Frank, for you guys up in Canada? Okay. And where were we, guys, right? I don't know, 12 months ago, where were rates? 4%, 3.75, 4%?
We were seeing like sub 2.
Sub 2. Okay. So they've gone up 2%, right? Okay. So we've seen like a pretty much a 2% increase at this point. Okay. Now here's what I would ask you. 6, 12, 18, 24 months ago, were we having to offer 20, 25, 30% above ask price to be able to get an offer accepted in the peak of the market? Was that what we were seeing in the GTA and your guys' surrounding area? Okay. So watch this. Every 1% increase, 10% decrease, right? 1% increase, 10% decrease. Rates are up 2.5%. That's a 25% decrease. If I was in a market where I had to offer 30% above ask price, even with interest rates going up, right? Watch me on this. Interest rates went up 2.5%. I was offering 30% above ask price to get an offer accepted, right? That I remove, follow me, that 25% affordability. I'm now making an offer at ask price, or in many cases, Frank, below. I'm 5% better as a buyer. Does that make sense? Now think about that. If you can embrace that right now, then you would be talking to every single buyer going, let me show you why now you're in a better financial position to be able to actually purchase a home than you were 6, 12, 18 months ago when you're offering 30% more, when you're offering 20% above ask price. But see, if you're not convinced on that, you'll never be convincing. This is one of the key things. If you are not completely sold, then it'll be very difficult for you to be convincing. Now, a couple more minutes. There's some market data. I'll give this over to Brandon and to Frank. They can take a look at that. This is our projection down here in the States, by the way, right? That in the last 5 or 6 recessions, there's only been 2 times that the recession equaled a housing crisis, okay? Or that housing went backwards. Every other recession that we face, which we're facing one right now, guys, we're in it. And as goes the States and as goes Canada, we run side by side with each other, guys. You know what I mean? Right? And so much. I'm sorry for us making stupid decisions down here, right? So it impacts you guys up there as well too. But I think it's important for you to be able to have this conversation with your buyers and with your sellers. Now, what action should you be taking? What conversations should you be having, right? The actions that you should be taking is this. Number 1, I would challenge every single one of you, as Jon said, to be able to actually increase your marketing, to become more aware. At a minimum, I would be doing 1 video per month, right? Ideally, I'd be doing 2 videos per month. One at the first of the month that basically says, here is what has happened in the last 30 days of this real estate market. Here's how we compare to 6 months ago. Here's how we compare to 12 months ago, right? The first one I would do is why a recession does not mean a housing crisis. And then you can actually go into some of this data. Obviously, for the Canadian market, you guys would need to be able to get the data from CAR to be able to actually utilize that as well too. But here in the States, well, I'm having people shoot videos right now where they're saying, hey, listen, 4 out of the last 6 recessions, values of real estate have increased, right? Inventory is nowhere close to where it was during a normal national pre-pandemic levels. The millennials, like they're hitting all of this, my friends, in a video to educate the sellers and the buyers, or control the narrative for their past clients and their sphere, right? To be able to have them feel certain and comfortable in what their next step actually is. Number 2, I'd call everyone, every single one of them. I remember 3x5. Well, the 3x5 conversation for the 5 people that I do know would be something like this. These would be past clients, friends, family members. Hey, Brandon, it's Bill Pipes. How are you? Brandon says, hello. I go, hey, Brandon, really appreciate you taking my call today. Hey, listen, first of all, how are you doing? How's Frank? How's the family? Right? Connect with them, whatever I need to do. And then I'd say, hey, listen, the reason for my call is, number 1, I wanted to connect with you. But number 2, I've had a lot of my close clients and friends like yourself reaching out to me. And they've been asking me, hey, Pipes, what's going on with the market? Right? They got a little fear, they got a little concern. And rather than wait for you, Brandon, to call me, I thought I'd proactively reach out to you. So I'm just curious, what questions do you have about the local market? What questions do you have about what's going on in the local or the national market? Well, Bill, man, I heard that, GTA is down like 25%, 30%, prices are going in the barrel. Yeah, I've seen the same exact thing. Well, Brandon, let me share with you the reality of what is actually occurring in the market today. And then, Frank, all I do is I present the numbers. I give them the data, right? I talk about how the media is not completely accurate, and here's what it is. And then I use that. Now, I may not even say or ask on that very first call that I make that I do this for any type of business. Listen to what I just said. I may just use that call as a deposit, where I'm depositing to them with information and educating them, right? Okay. But I may end that call by going, hey, listen, if you or anyone else that you know has any type of real estate needs or have any questions, please feel comfortable to give me a call. Then when I call them again at the end of the year, right, to be able to wrap up the year, that may be the call where I go through and what questions do you have? What do you want to know? By the way, Brandon, what are your plans with the house for the next year to 2 years? That's my question. But see, every quarter I would have, and I'm having people I coach hammer, right, in a loving way, the calls that they're making to the people that they know. Okay. And utilizing this script and dialogue. Can you use it for your leads? 100%. Hey, Brandon, I know that you were looking at buying a home earlier this year and you didn't pull the trigger, right? I'm giving you a call back like I said I would. What are your current plans right now, man? Are you guys still in the market to buy? Oh, Bill, we're holding off because we heard the market's going to bottom out. Hey, Brandon, I'm curious, what makes you think that the market's going to be better to purchase in 6 to 12 months than it is right now? Well, Bill, we heard prices are going down and interest rates, et cetera. I go, great. Hey, Brandon, let me share with you the reality of what is actually occurring. That is the line. Let me share with you the reality of what is actually occurring in the market, and I present the data. Let the data do the heavy lifting. Here's one last thing I would tell you guys. We honestly need to spend a lot less time talking to each other as agents about what the changing in the market, and we need to spend more time communicating and educating our clients about the reality of this market, my friends. That narrative is absolutely critical. So guys, I got one last thing, then I'll let you go. Okay. Because we are in a skill-based market, Chep said this. He said, do you want to get paid like a pro athlete? Which I think every single person, when I bring this up at seminars, they're like, yes, of course. I wrote this down for you. Serena Williams earned $40 million last year. Great tennis player. Dak Prescott, the great football. Well, I won't go far as calling him great. He's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. They can't seem to actually get into the playoffs. Dak Prescott makes about $60 million a year with everything in his endorsements. You got Lionel Messi, the great soccer player, or Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo earns 120, Messi earns 130, right? Serena practices 4 hours a day. Dak Prescott practices 5 hours a day, right? You got Lionel Messi, right? Or actually Ronaldo, 6+ hours a day, gym, on the pitch, and also doing his own work and training. If you want to get paid like a pro athlete, You have to, what are the skills that Serena has? Hitting the ball. What is the skill that Tom Brady has? Throwing the ball. What is the skill that that Messi and Ronaldo have? Kicking the ball, passing the ball. What is our ball? Our ball are the dialogues that we have on a regular basis. If you're not spending 15, 20, 30 minutes a day practicing the new dialogues you have to have for this market, then you end up practicing on your clients. And if you practice with somebody else that you know on your team, right? Okay, then it only costs you time. But if you practice on your clients, it costs you money, right? So, hey, Brandon, Frank, you know what I'm going to do for these guys? I'm going to send over 3 or 4 of the most relevant scripts that I think that this crew needs to have, and leave it up to you to be able to give it out to them, right? So that, because I didn't want today to be like, let me take you through a script. I wanted to lay the framework of, guys, here are the conversations, and then I'll give you guys the scripts, and then you can get that out to them. Okay.
I appreciate that.
So,
thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, hey guys, want to leave you with one last thought. Hold on. More here. That right there. This is what I want to leave you with. I said it at the beginning and I'll leave it with you at the end. The market will discipline those who fail to discipline themselves. And you have a simple choice. That choice is to get disciplined by the market and miss out on opportunity and transactions and lifestyle and things that you can do for your family, right? Because that, like the market discipline, that shit hurts. But if you discipline yourself, right, it comes with, I build my skills, I build my discipline and my strategy, I build my mindset, right? And that is longevity in this business, an opportunity to be part of the 10% that is going to come out of the cannon. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate having the chance to be on here today. So I'll turn it over to you. I'll stop the screen share and I will still be here because I am the host. Okay?
Amazing. Thanks, Bill. That was amazing stuff. Really appreciate it, Bill. Thanks very much. Hope everybody got some great value out of the call, and that you'll go and apply to your businesses. We will get those materials out to you. Also a copy of the video from today. And I don't know, I guess one thing to remember is coaching doesn't happen on a call like this. It happens when you go out and you actually take action. And we really appreciate you having you today, Bill. And we look forward to doing it again. Thank you.
And Frank and Brandon, I will echo that. The game now is execute, because what you don't need is more information. You need to use the stuff that you've learned. So
exactly.
All right, guys. Thanks again.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day.